Anyone can be faced with financial problems, but it isn't something you have to be scared of. If you're feeling financially burdened, filing for bankruptcy can help ease the stress. In fact, bankruptcy can relieve financial hardship and overwhelming debt, and with the right help and guidance, you'll find it's not all that bad. Gelman & Associates PC specializes in helping clients start over again after financial distress. Elena Gelman, attorney at law, has run the firm for 10 years, providing legal services for Chapter 7 and 13 bankruptcy, as well as for real estate, will, probate, and estate administration law. Gelman & Associates is the law firm you can trust for sound advice and help every step of the way.
There are two options for individual consumer debtors. The first option, which is not the option that most people want to take, it's a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. A Chapter 13 bankruptcy are for those people who want to repay their creditors. The amount of repayment throughout the terms of the 5 years varies. It normally depends on the excess income of an individual. And when I say excess income, we look at their monthly income and their monthly expenses. Generally, what is left over is what they use towards their plan. However, people who have assets, real property or cars, or any type of assets that are worth more than what New York State law allows them to have, will be forced to repay at least a minimum of what those assets, the equity in those assets are worth. For example, if you have a house that is worth $500,000, but your mortgage on it is $400,000, you have a $50,000 exemption, and that $50,000 that is not exempt through a Chapter 13 plan, that a minimum of $50,000 must be paid off for the 5-year plan. So you divide that into your monthly payments. However, that is generally for people who have the income and for people who usually have the assets. The other bankruptcy form, it's a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which is a liquidation of assets. For those people who have assets, they would be taken by the court, sold. You would get your exempt amount. In the situation of the house, you would take that $50,000, it's yours to keep, and that additional $50,000 would be used by the court or by the trustee of the court and used to pay off your credit cards or creditors, whatever creditors you may have. The Chapter 7 bankruptcy does look at what your income is, your family income, your household income. There are median incomes. If you make over a certain amount of money, you may not qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, but that's based on an individual assessment of a situation. So depending on your situation, Chapter 7 is really the best case scenario where if you have no assets to liquidate, you will then receive a discharge of your debt because there's nothing that can be taken away from you to be paid off towards your creditors, and you are unable to pay your debt, and the discharge is in essence what gives you the fresh start.
Bankruptcy can be beneficial for both debtors and creditors because it allows debtors to get out of debt and gives creditors back what belongs to them. Bankruptcy can also do away with the tiring collection calls. By law, creditors are required to stop calling once you've filed all bankruptcy documents. Keep in mind that filing for bankruptcy does not have to affect others around you, like your spouse or your family. And although bankruptcy filings remain on public record for 10 years, a good attorney will keep your financial matters strictly confidential. Though it may seem easy to file for bankruptcy, it all depends on a good lawyer. It's important that you get an experienced and skilled attorney who will assist you in choosing the best options. Elena Gelman will use her exceptional experience to analyze your financial situation and determine if bankruptcy is the right step for you. Elena Gelman will never leave a client alone in court. You can rely on her for the best assistance in reaching your goals and know that your legal matters will be handled with skill and discretion.
I always felt very comfortable referring my clients and friends to Elena. She's professional in her every step. I know that confidence that you place on her will be highly compensated.
I started experiencing financial difficulties about, I would say, like 8 months ago, 10 months ago, and I was still trying to pay the bills, and it just got unbearable with all the increased financial rates, and my minimum payment was just unbearable. I could not meet the payments. I made a couple of phone calls to find an attorney for the bankruptcy, but set up a couple of interviews, went to meet people, and what I found is that the paralegals that I had an appointments with, nobody was actually follow up on the problem that I had, that I experienced. I never owned the property. They were mentioning that I had to bring the liens for the houses and stuff, whatever I have, which I did not have anything. I give up on that idea and I start looking locally. I found on the internet Elena Gelman Associates, and I made a phone call. She followed up with the call the next day. I got a call from her. She was very friendly over the phone, and she made an appointment probably within 2 days. I was in the office going over my financial situation. I got a lot of information from her, explanation how it's going to go and how long it's going to take. The quotes that I was getting from other attorneys were about $200, $300 more than Elena quoted me originally. After we applied for the, actually after I made a payment and we went through the process, it took about 3 weeks for us to complete the whole process. She helped me to keep my car. She helped me to keep all the belongings that I had purchased on the credit cards, and the settlement was more than satisfying for me.
You don't have to own real estate to file for bankruptcy. If you're having difficulty paying off your credit card debt, bankruptcy can work for you too. If you're having problems with credit debt or any other financial issue, there's no better time than now to call Gelman & Associates.
Law Office of Elena Gelman.
I have a lot of credit card debt, and I'm not able to pay my regular monthly bills together with the credit card debt, such as my food expenses and my rent. I was wondering if you could help.
Let me find out a couple of things about your situation. Tell me what kind of problems you're having.
My regular credit cards, just the general ones, I'm over $15,000 in debt on them.
And what did you use them for?
Mostly to buy food, to buy clothing, things like that.
Let's make you an appointment for a free consultation. I'm going to need a couple of things from you. When you come in, bring me your pay stubs for the last 2 months, bring me your 2 years worth of tax returns. I'm going to need to see 3 months worth of bank statements, and bring me all your bills, so all your credit card statements, your bank statements, your loan statements, anything that you owe money to. We'll go over your situation. I'll go over my fees, and we'll decide how we're going to proceed. Thank you. We'll see you. My name is Elena Gelman. For over a decade, I represent people in Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcies. If you're overwhelmed in your credit card debts, call our office, make an appointment, and we will help you take that step for a fresh start.